Vitality to send us into the summer break. And Heroic have to hold the line. We just saw what Vitality could do on the offense on Mirage. They were untouchable, essentially, after losing Pistol. And Pistols have been all Heroics so far this series. A fifth? Come on now.
Yeah, we can talk about how impressive it is to win despite the Pistols, but eventually the Pistols can catch up with you. That's something they've got to keep tabs on. And even though Vitality's game plans, they've been simple sometimes, the preparation is clearly incredible. Ready for every match.
Ready with those dual Berettas. Not alone whatsoever. 2 players on the short stack. Smoke could make it weird. Definitely sections off the 2-pack of players, but oh, the Berettas can't quite finish the second. Dupree will get him. Oh, shush. Apex turns it down, extending, trying to catch that short kill, so he just exposes himself to mid. And for the first time in this series, it looks like Vitality will indeed take a pistol.
These aren't just kills that you normally get. These are kills that they need to get. And now they're in an intersection where it should be both. And they're failing these trades. And finally, Vitality win a pistol in this best of 3.
It wasn't even the strategy that was necessarily strong in this one for Vitality. We see the missed opportunities there from Heroic, and it was easy to praise Vitality for their T-side on Mirage. That's one where you simply have to critique the mechanics from the Danes.
Unicorn odds favoring Vitality. Even with kicking it off on a T-side, Pistol sure helps. Sea of utility here for Heroic. Not even one player goes in with an SMG. They're met by nades. We saw some clean stuff out of Jabby across the series. A consistent piece of both maps. But for now, he gives up B.
Still holding on to a lot of utility, though, Heroic. They recognize that Vitality, they're fans of the slow plays. If you keep a couple of smokes to the late round, you can win a round off of a single smoke alone. Still, 3 left, 55 seconds. You could just layer these.
Yeah, and they're delaying because they know Vitality don't go right away.
There's one. Quick little exchange.
You know, we're actually at 44 seconds.
Oh, wow, yeah.
That's another smoke coming out. 30 is the ideal place, but 40 and a potential rotation is where it gets very scary for Vitality.
Canadian's got the next one.
And the CTs aren't moving, however.
Now they are.
Got another. Yeah, there. It's coming. It's on the way.
Got a frag to go in with the pistols. Spam through smoke before they pop. Oh, it's a body block. Now there's going to be a gap for Vitality to try and get around with. Not that this will be comfortable. Not that this will be easy. Tess from Orange is swarmed and still surviving. 10 on the clock. Jabby comes through. Nobody covering. No, never mind. Oh, Zywoo from on top of Barbecue gives that little bit of cover. Damn, Heroic.
Was he covering for the potential B flank?
It covered both options.
Yeah, he covered both options right there. And Jabby took his sweet time because he knew he just had to hit one bullet. He knows he could have shot right away, and that's a round gone. And seriously, comes down to that. No time to put that bomb down again if he stays alive any longer.
And Heroic were doing such a great job with utility, but that single body block.
Yeah.
That smoke hitting the teammate right there. That's a bit of a lifeline for Vitality. They have to be feeling pretty lucky about that one. In most ways, Heroic outplayed them. And just that tiny slip up.
Yep. Even that tiny slip up on the util. If Zywoo doesn't get that kill as quick as he did, that deagle to the head, no bomb plant.
So
as look at the way the gap as well created the pathing.
So as far as modern CS is concerned, G2 have dictated the way everyone else play T-side right now with TARP car control. Executes are way too powerful. So the way to defend against it is to kill people as they turn the corner. And when Vitality played against G2, that's what they were doing over and over again. Yeah, that'll be a question for the second half. But actually, Heroic are one of the teams that do a good job of defending top car. They are good at the re-aggressions. That favors their playstyle as well. And you'll see multiple moments where the flashes will come in on the side exec, and they never tuck all the way. They try to fight as much as they can, get any little bit of damage on before anybody crosses grill, because that's where the round is won and lost.
This is shaping up pretty well for Vitality.
Just feels like... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, great bracket control already. And just with Cadian and Stown, I mean, Stown, at least actually Shush is holding this smoke.
Oh, careful though.
Yeah.
Kind of put himself one step forward. Oof. Relegated to the corner. They're going to be on high alert for this. Apex straight up clears him, no support. Cadian smoked off, nothing.
Much easier to clear cold when you have pit control, so a lot of confidence coming into that swing. And that's the round one. Some guns can be used in the next round. It's not the worst situation for Heroic. They had a much better chance in round two. But again, this the CT side is something that Heroic understands. They're one of the few teams that are doing things correctly, but this map just feels like it's going to be so much more about the story of Heroic this entire year. They're thinking about all the finals they've been in. That's crossing their mind every single round that goes by.
Not just that, Mo. They're thinking about how they were in finals, and then it was semis, and how it's been a backwards trend.
Yeah, a backwards trend. And if you don't close out at least once or twice, then your confidence takes a massive hit. That bomb just gets bigger every day. It gets bigger.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, your confidence only... Yeah, like grand finals are nice, but they don't do much for your confidence when it comes to seeing the finish line.
This is still my favorite chant of the entire event. It's a let's go Cadian met with booze. Okay, this is where we have to see some of that activity from Heroic. If Vitality are able to find that easy banana control, this is just going to be Vitality walking all over Heroic. And yeah, we see the contest early on. Nade deep, and Magisk, he's the one that's going to be flashed on up. He might have got to half wall, and they might not know. Okay, that jiggle will give them the information.
Quick glimpse of one another. Oh, the repeat. Jabby and Tesses. And Cadian is the third. Apex is just going to run up. Gives his back to the 5-7.
You thought he left.
Yeah, you said you wanted to see that banana fight. Well, here we have it. First gun round out of the defense. Instantly, we get a critical hold on banana. And not just critical, convincing.
And genuinely, I feel like even when Heroic quote-unquote choke, they obey the game plan. I think that they oftentimes will go for plays like this, but they don't hit their shots when they're nervous, and we see individuals fail in big moments. But it's a good early sign here on Inferno, where the game plan meets the mechanics. Heroic win in the way that they want to, and they really do know where to draw that invisible line on the map.
But that's just an early round game plan working out for them. Where I've seen Heroic struggle in these big moments is what happens in the mid round. If it's a 4 versus 4, do they keep up the aggression? Are they able to piece it together? Another early kill going the way of Yabby. Nice spam through the smoke.
Mid-round moments won't be a problem if they just keep getting opening success like this. 2 rounds in a row, banana for Heroic, but Magisk starts carving a path outwards.
The benefit to Vitality, you know, for the very recent game tape is the fact that they didn't even start on T side the last time when they played against G2, and they had such a dominant first half. You didn't even really see that many buys come out of G2, so very little revealed. And they said they came in well prepared. Obviously, a lot of that had to do with fighting against G2 while they were on the offense. But now that they're here, what were the things that they prepped?
Jabby took his boost, lost his teammate, but holds on. He's gonna have to hold on for a long time. Stown trying to sprint over, no chance. The utility just dismantles that one. And so Vitality successful in putting down bomb. Little sketchy there, but Spinks keeps his head down. And Stown gets smoked off on his approach. The back of construction. Do they take their chance at the retake?
That's a powerful smoke right now.
A flash to come out as the incendiary pops new box. They do have banana blocked, but Spinks still kills Shush. Backside player shows a little something, and Stown's gonna take that as a chance to leave. Almost not for free, but Cadian sends another one back. So a quick pop into the B site. Heroic, they lose their consecutive chance.
You talked about it, Maui. They get the opening kill, but they fall back into their passive setup.
Yep. Exactly.
And clearly, they needed more than that. That's how powerful these execs are, even in that situation.
A group stage heroic goes for the mid push. They swing for they try to fight deeper, not even just bracket, but down mid. And this is where we see them turtle up. The fact that they aren't actually still pressuring anywhere on the map. They're just saying, they're hoping that Vitality just trip over their shoelaces into a bomb site. But these teams are too well drilled nowadays that those B execs are so powerful that you have to take extra initiative, even though common meta logic would say just, you know, play the 5v4 back, just try to keep your numbers alive, but you can't do that.
No matter how smart you are, you're always stepping in fire on the B site when the execs come in these days. CTs are not welcome to sit and wait patiently. That Astralis, that was the Astralis setup on B. That was the Zipix position on top second oranges. That setup used to win Astralis entire tournaments. But the game's changed now. The T's have gotten stronger.
Vitality could very well go back right in with the same thing. How's the change in a setup? You saw the timing of the smokes of Heroic previously. Oh, Jabby blinded, but still the trade is there. And therefore the danger, and therefore the call to rotate.
If I'm a Vitality, I'll take the 4v4 any day of the week.
But they don't bite down on it. TSS actually takes up the CT cross. They're going to keep majority here on A. This is a good call at Acadian and a good kill. But each time we see the CTs get something, ZywOo has the response. Spinks is going to catch him. Shush, we've seen great stuff from him, but Spinks with the double entry. And that's the formula for Vitality. That is the op of ZywOo and the rifle of Spinks, 2 kills apiece. They change their intended target. Heroic don't pull off, and still they fall.
Yeah, and they put their best foot forward there. I mean, they made it a 4v4. Then they had Cadian come in to try to make up for the fact that they lost banana control. They got a 4v3 for a second. And honestly, if Cadian hits his shot, full damage on Spinks inside of halls, they have a much better chance of holding the site. So a lot of it does come down to that. But it's telling that we're kind of characterizing this as Heroic either playing very well or not playing very well, whereas Vitality are doing what they need to do, and their execution is just good enough. They've got the X factor still in play. So many have bailed them out over the course of this series. And the fact that the conversation is not simply just about how good ZywOo is every single time is why they close entire events now.
And big kill from ZywOo. I mean, 2 of them around the smoke right there. One the return on that B player early on Yabby, but to catch Stown walking through, even though a lot of players would panic and think that they need to try to find the return onto Cadian, who's jumping away, ZywOo just keeps holding the line. Just make sure that there isn't some crazy re-aggression, and that's exactly what was coming his way.
We can sit here and say we don't need ZywOo anymore, but that round an example of what he offers. Striking back versus man disadvantage, not once but twice. Leaving Heroic all invested here in round 7. A T side that is definitely taken off. The momentum of that T half on Mirage, barreling forward into map 3. The one that decides whether Heroic have to swallow their pride and accept defeat again.
Classical position here for Heroic. The 4A setup. Bottom B smoke. Just dissipated. They're continuing to spot. Vitality breaching halls and seeing no one. And until they flash, and they do go for the retake at a very good time, honestly. Oh my god. That might have been an opportunity for Cadian.
On his own.
And it's up to Cadian right now to say, do I need help? Or is this a bluff?
Yeah, he calls for Jabby.
Oh, and they leave a very important gap here. I mean, this could end up being majority towards the end of halls.
Smoke on Stown. But nobody watching balcony. I mean, all of a sudden, you're going to lose Pit. And if you lose Pit, this short setup could get unraveled. But the timing on the peak. TSS capitalizes upon them. And then as they cross back over, it's Dupree to try and bounce back. TSS again. 3 instrumental kills coming out of TSS. But that bomb could still go down, which means Vitality could still take this. Dupree, the only kill thus far. ZywOo's got the cover of the pit, and ZywOo's got that magic in him. Flash above. looks to shave them off. He's got vision on the bomb. He's got Cadian, however, right on him. And so Tesses takes it into his own hands. Not once, not twice, but thrice. Cutting off that bomb cross, delaying the whole setup. You saw the panic kick in when Tesses peeks through flames.
And for my money, stats is one thing, but Tesses is a player to me that's been getting nervous in these playoff games. And I have felt his absence, but this is a play that'll change that story. And while it did look like a gap to me to leave pit open versus a potential Halls pop and not have an in vision on it from Arch, or play in pit, or have someone in lane on barrels waiting for the jump out, Heroic were ready to press into mid to stop the split.
Just showing a little bit of individual flair. So rare to get that from Heroic, but okay, Vitality, quick up mid, great nade to take down ZywOo low. But, oh, okay, Spinks peeking out with his nade.
That's huge damage. Half of ZywOo to the frag grenade, nearly all of Spinks, and then even Dupree getting softened up. Heroic getting banged for their buck.
All
in terms of util.
Yeah, all unconfirmed damage, but they're so consistent with it. They could probably count on it. And there's something about receiving a nade when you're standing there in halls that just makes you feel like they know everything about your setup. That alone is worth something.
Little jostling going on here from Heroic. Last smoke on Jabby, 55 seconds. He puts that down at the right time, and the rotate could still make it. But once that fades, it could be the all-in from Vitality. They got no presence elsewhere.
This is good from Heroic,
Yeah,
though.
super good.
But they jump the timing. They go through as the smoke's still up, and it costs them. Tesses and Jabby hold off the first onslaught. There is still time to redirect, but of course, Stound's gonna start pressing down middle. Him versus Apex, and that door closed on mid. No chance to move away.
That's a big better from Stound.
Good pressure from Heroic on the front side of the B site, and then also straight down middle. Spinks looking like the only survivor. Heroic with the right call. Vitality try to shake it up by going through smoke, and it just gets shut down.
And that's Jabby being sparse enough with his utility, throwing a smoke late enough to call for rotations, not enough pressure on Bracket to convince Heroic that they should stay on A, and rotating early enough to not leave that big gap.
But what we also saw was the win more style that Heroic constantly try to use. The fact that even though they had 3 players there, Stound still went for a flank. In so many different ways, this could have went horribly wrong. 5 versus 3 advantage, you push down mid, you're taking a risk. But Heroic, they live by taking risks. They have to. It's their modus operandi, and that's exactly what Stound needed to start to feel himself in this game too.
Jabby, that big playoff player that Heroic used to get into so many grand finals. Took a little leave of absence in terms of his performance, but feels like he's been in the thick of it.
No, for sure. He was the most improved player from the fall final for about 4 months. In 2023, he was the guy to talk about. And such an amazing arc from him to go from having a horrible Cologne in the middle of last summer, almost a full year ago,
Yes.
into having, you know, a normal climb where we've seen so many players have amazing
Fan favorite.
Wow. Life imitates art. You know, who you want to compare 2 players, Stound and Spinks. Spinks had the honeymoon into not playing well, into coming back, whereas Jabby just kind of consistently got better and better.
Not today, ZywOo. Try to flash him through.
And also, when we talk about grand finals, Jabby, you know, it felt like he was the key when they won the fall final.
That's because we talk about all the other Heroic players as guys who fall off in playoffs. Shush, Stound, rating-wise, take a dip. And Cadian, in Dallas specifically, also had his name on that list. His play versus Mouse was uninspiring. And so during their success, yes, it was Jabby that put that foot forward. Without it, we see the slide from grand finals to semis to quarters.
But still, it's about the team with Heroic, and it's about keeping up the style and keeping up the pressure, even when you have the man advantage. We saw how that went so badly for them in the first gun round. We're starting to see that flair, that life from individuals where even in a man advantage situation, they're going for more. They feel enabled by their system. They aren't just trying to play by the numbers all the time. and taking matters into their own hands. That's what Heroic has been always missing, that extra X factor. Yeah. And if somebody can stand up, if it can be Stown, if it can be Tessus, then you begin to believe if you're Heroic.
It's the propaganda. It's the indoctrination. It's Cadian's cult. You gotta believe in it. You can't falter, because once you do, the whole play style unravels.
It's the one that works, trust me.
Well, consistently making deep runs, and a lot of imitation throughout the Counter-Strike scene after Heroic really put this style forth. And right now it is working. 3 rounds straight. Little bits of aggression here and there, but guns back in the hands of Vitality. Those Eagles got stuffed. ZywOo found nothing, tried to jump through smoke, dead in an instant.
It's what we like to see, just like Mirage, a great first half. It almost got out of hand here with Vitality, but right back into a more calm situation for Heroic. Looking to tie on this win, and as we can see, the Galil on Dupree, the low amount of money left over. This could be worth 2.
Jump over.
Oh, the double porch setup with rifles. Eyes open, no molly down.
You think that jump's gonna set off the crosshair, but too ready for it.
Did Cadian take a shot early on B? Is that why they ran out?
ZywOo forced out. Forced to reclaim something, does so. And Shush was left there. Stown had doubled back, played the arch side instead, left Jabby posted. And so just like that, ZywOo's the answer. And if we go back a couple rounds, he did the same thing. He took it back from a 5v4, took it back from the 5v3. One more chance for him to do the same. His teammates, the double Danes, wait in mid. We'll see if Heroic poke at them, if they prod outwards. That was a key piece, unraveling the mid setup by going for these kinds of aggressions. Magisk chased, finds 2, but ZywOo gives his backup to Jabby. That presence over on Arch has ZywOo's guard down, and now Magisk 30 health with bomb, and a player in pit to end him. Jabby puts forth another multi-kill,
yes.
And Heroic put forth another round.
And honestly, an excellent pit player. An excellent pit player, showing that he gets caught off guard very few times, has enough aggressive plays, that he's not always fighting directly from pit. And we have this vertical stack setup where even if one dies, there's an instantaneous trade, but it comes up roses here for Heroic. And they now get to face down the eco. They finally broken through. The money's gone for Vitality.
We're seeing the Heroic we want to see.
It felt like everyone was getting their chip, you know, even Snappy. Felt like when was Ents going to grab it? They picked up Dallas.
Jabby. Yeah, come get it. Oh, Spinks will deke him out. Cadian's there with the pistol. And Tess has to support it. So your pistols get nothing. It is 5 in a row out of Heroic. It is the defense standing tall. And it's Vitality with an inability to break through. But back to your point. Yes, Snappy did get his.
Snappy did get his.
After Vitality able to lift one in Paris.
If you ask anybody who you would say is more likely to finally get the final, Heroic or Ents, who would say Ents? Even though they came close early last year to lose Spinks and to have to do it with Sunpius, who credit? It's not like Sunpius is some kind of huge downgrade or anything. He's been great. And that's sorry, that was specifically to Hades. But losing a player like Spinks, you know, it felt like Ents were going to get into a repetitive cycle of, like Mouse Sports, of selling their best off to make money, but then forcing their IGL to have to work with less and less every single time. They figured it out. Heroic, they stayed with the same team for a long time. They picked up a LAN final, but nothing in this year. But we got the ZywOo Spinks major, you know, of 2 players who haven't won one before.
We had FaZe also finish off there.
They got the Grand Slam.
Yep. Twist got his second. You know, there's been a lot of stories just wrapped up throughout this season.
Yeah.
Even when a lot of them didn't feel possible, when it felt like we had lost them.
We had G2 to kick things off with Kato.
And that is why Heroic need this one. To put themselves in that same realm. But right now, that lane side wide open. A dink on Stown is the end of him. It's not the nicest duel, but ZywOo still picks it up. And we'll see if Heroic get a little wild. Can't with shots like that out of Dupree. 1 health does make a difference. Pops Cadian's head. His op gets picked up. Vitality will put an end to the streak here of Heroic. We're tied at 6.
Great call out of the timeout from Vitality there. They recognize that they just lost a bracket fight, that Heroic know that they probably think Heroic, that Vitality are going to try to focus on B, go back to what was working early on, and they say, we're going to double down on that. We're going to go actually back into the bracket hit once again. And so Vitality able to tie it up, and it almost felt like they were just pushing their head into a wall right there, slamming it into it, and the wall broke.
Guys, I was been actually great on the brute force attacks inside of mid. At top bracket, not afraid to run through fire. Make the play happen if he needs to. Of course, no one's opting on T side unless they pick up the op for free. I think Zai was quite happy about that. Oh,
His in-ear fell out. Okay. He got it.
Three rounds left in the half. Money back in play for Vitality. And just so damn back and forth.
Saiwu kicks it off. Cadian's dead again. Man, his head, back-to-back rounds, gets rocked. And he was looking for something down middle, so looking to apply that pressure is, I think Heroic have kind of taken a small step back.
Heroic 4-man, though. They're rotating everybody.
Big gamble.
This is what they do.
In a big moment.
This is how they get back in rounds that seem lost.
And this is an unreal call. It's not impossible that Vitality end back on the B side, and they'll see nothing inside of mid with that flash retake. So just as quickly as they came, they'll leave. But they are correct about one thing. Vitality don't instant exec. So this gives them time to set up on the B side, but now they're a lot weaker over towards A, and they actually believe fully in the information. So now it's going to be about Shush. He is always in this spot.
Last shot, last bullet, finishes off Saiwu. Desperate for his help to come back and give it another chance. Oh, clean.
Oh, what a clothesline out of Shush.
Little 3-bullet burst, and it takes Apex straight out of this one. Shush has done a fantastic job of buying critical amounts of time. The bomb got stopped, and then Shush comes through with another, and the pressure out of Heroic is everywhere.
Oh, everybody got back as if they never left because Shush not only did he save alive.
Then nothing there for Heroic.
One-man wall. Shush. Just right there in the pit. If he falls immediately, that is a done round. He had to get that one, and he kept on fighting too. That second kill, that's risky.
And that's his smoke, right? He's not using that as a one-way on the bike. He's using the bike the same exact way, but now extending the wall to his left, leaving the fight open.
Fast, very quick, through smoke, Saiwu shreds 2, Tess up. And if it's gonna be a Heroic win, it's gotta come from top to bottom, and Tess looking to put up the next multi-kill in this one. 3 kills already! Tess, but Spinks will answer an immediate 2-kill. And guess what? Who's left? Shush yet again. Oh, the one-man hold on Banana after Saiwu, the prodigy, had kicked it off, and things look so desperate.
And now it comes down to the reads.
He's got the util, an incendiary here for Spinks. At what time, if even, he throws this out? Gun out the whole time. Don't want to get caught.
That's where you press tab and think about tendencies. How would Spinks play this? He could be anywhere.
He's hidden. Shush. Starting to piece it together, but the bomb's halfway gone. Oh, Spinks peeks, catches it. Just like that, the moment he hears anything, a smoke tumbling across the ground, that's Spinks' call to action.
And that was Tess on 6 cylinders. But Spinks said, you need 8. What a denial by him. And that's a 1v3 straight up. It's fast action, of course, and of course the trade is gifted to him by the 3 players that came in first to stress his aim. But my God.
Talk about resource management. Like 3-4 bullets per kill, all he could afford. And that's why he gets away with all of them.
Tess is 14-5, and you would almost think it's more if he's going to be pulling rounds like that. But Spinks humbles him and Heroic. A a sobering moment as we are going through round 15 to find out who takes the half.
Util in abundance, set up off the op. Cadian, it's a missed shot. And Vitality, no strangers to rushing through these. Jabby jumps out. I mean, he knows that he's pinned against the wall. He knows that his time is limited.
Oh, they've already locked off some key spots.
And the chances of Vitality to take one more round, this is it. It's a lead on the line. And it's a retake needed by the looks of it. Or is Bomb so delayed that things kind of get awkward here?
Smoke will be refreshed inside of CT, and it's too hard for the CTs to re-aggro. So unless, you know, some Deus Ex Machina happens right now, this bomb is getting planted.
Oh, what?
God, and there it is!
Now it's down. He could challenge the bomb. Oh, he does! Stops it! Spinks looking to come back around. And Dupree, well, with just one, it's next up Cadian. No way they have somehow reclaimed this. Dupree traded out by Shush. Back and forth we go to the very end. The very end of this season with one round the difference. In Paris, instead we get it in Washington. And it's delivered. Back and forth we go. Moments of glory for ZywOo and Spinks. But Heroic with the bigger pop-offs. Tesses, hell of a performance. Jabby, back to playoff form. And we wait to see whether Heroic can get back to winning pistols, because that has been the theme of the night.
4 out of 5.
ZywOo has to be the scariest half-wall player in existence with those dualies. Breaking through him, it's not just anybody on the other side.
He's a bad man.
He's a bad man.
Well, he waits for his next victim. He'll take them all. But Heroic aren't giving him anything. It's going to be the mid play first. Magisk spots it out. The fallback. And the swarm comes next. But careful. Dangerous game. If Dupree gets all of the apartments controlled, then suddenly your sight is compromised. So Cadian.
The tension right now.
Yeah. Well, think about it, man. It's 3 events in a row for Vitality, or Heroic finally get theirs. This pistol dictates momentum. It's a 1-round difference. I mean, come on. I get why they're taking their time. But they've made their decision. It's going to be into the B site. ZywOo awaits them. His Beretta's ready, but just 2.
Just 2. Bomb plant is a lock.
Can't stop that.
Can't get into this one.
Now just quickly on the flank, gets stuffed by Jabby. He knows there's another. Gets away from him, though. 3 kills to the Berettas between ZywOo and Dupree. And now the 2v2, but there's individual duels going down. And Dupree's reloading 2 guns.
No kit.
Pops back up, bomb nearing the halfway point. He's gonna just try to pepper, charge down this gap, and then get on top of that bomb. But if he gets this 10-second stick, this would be incredible. Washington, you hold your tongue. You just wait. But he comes up! Oh, he comes up!
Stown was about to look. Not heard anything, so.
That was the swing. That was the swing. And this tournament, I mean, it's 7 rounds away for Heroic to claim their first championship. We look back at some of the losses that they've had, and it's always to underdogs. This is the one time they're going into a final as the underdog. ESL Pro League, they were favored over Na'Vi to win that. You look at IEM Dallas, they were favored to win over Maus. At the Paris Major, they were favored to win over Gamer Legion. But finally, they're not the favorites.
You're right.
They're ahead.
Yeah.
Yes.
And at Rio, before Vitality had actually started the streak of tournaments, they were favored to win over them. But now we get into 5 out of 6 pistols won. But when we saw Vitality play against G2, it was their CT side. What were we talking about? 13-2?
Yes.
There was almost no way in.
And that's one of the highest successful T-sides. So Vitality, their hands will be busy. A quick push out of ZywOo. Charges the bomb site, but the MP5 with the double kill makes a bit of extra cash. Heroic take a 10. I like this dynamic you bring up, Maui Snake. This idea that as you know, the underdogs, Heroic could pull it off. Finally, given a chance where they can just shed the pressure, right? Because the story has always been, well, surely it's this time. They can't choke X amount of times in a row, and yet they do it. But now, because of that, we finally wrote them off. We finally give Vitality the edge, the expectation, and a lead. It's a start.
If there's one thing we learned from the Blast Paris Major, it's to respect underdog.
Yeah.
Every time.
And you know what? If this was any other two teams, normal tier 1 teams with no baggage, no other crazy weird results, Inferno T side with Heroic in this position would almost be a gimme. But because what Vitality showed specifically versus G2 on their CT side in that one game that just happened so recently, which kind of amplifies its importance, it makes you wonder what they'll have, what will be available, and how much Heroic drew from that CT side. Because I honestly didn't see that many gaps. I saw so much variety. I saw such a great game out of Magisk, however, who right now is sitting on 4 kills.
Yep.
He was so key. He was trying to do a Nico imitation on both sides of Banana, and he pulled it off then. But not quite as strong right now, and 3 rounds down or Vitality.
You know,
is it actually possible that Heroic win a tournament this year? Is it real?
Split decision.
Well-timed nade. That could help. Oh. And unarmored, ZywOo pulls off the headshot. ZywOo is second. Does he have more left? He's getting swarm 3 for ZywOo. The unarmored Deagle of all of them. Of course, he puts his best foot forward. Chance attempt here from Apex, met by another smoke, but remember, Jabby's low.
Yeah, that MP9 could be licking his lips, but Jabby takes him out the pasture, and then Apex goes down too. That's Heroic on 11.
It's a nice cushion going into the first gun round.
Yeah.
Can't count Vitality out given what they showed against G2 though, but I think Heroic are starting to believe.
This first round will be very telling, you know. It was a long time before G2 even got their first real good round versus Vitality's defense. And ZywOo, he put this off for a long time. He put that up on layaway, didn't want to touch it on T side. But he had a pretty fearful presence in that first half, right, with that op or not.
It's his teammates who are looking dull at the moment. You know, every Vitality fan welcomed the arrival of Dupree and Magisk's return to form. But right now, it's back to the struggle that is just Spinks and ZywOo. It's not enough. Not in the face of this level out of Heroic.
They're getting this for free. They're barely using any nades. Okay, finally they'll use some, but that's top banana.
Yeah, that's top banana. That's like the first and second level. Now the bomb's still staged back up at steps, and they'll sit and wait. They're going to set up their grenades right now.
Yep.
CT's just threw one back. They're going to send TSS in on an entry, and Apex is pulling away.
To clear out coffins.
Oof. Surely this presence tells him all he needs to know.
The bomb cannot be picked up by Yabby right now.
Cadian's going to have to go back, and they're going to send TSS in first. Still no bomb. TSS knocking on Coffin's door, and Magisk tucked behind Nubox. Awkward fight. Bomb is only going to be picked up in a matter of seconds. Dow turns this around, though. And if they can clear out the bomb site, then the bomb is inbound.
Vitality aren't even rotating.
No, what the hell?
Whoa.
The bomb is...
Oh, no.
Well, at 25 seconds, it's going towards the A site. It can't be real. And the CTs haven't moved. And now the last kill comes down on this site, and Cadian is about to walk into a death trap.
You're not the main character. And he plays the wrap around short. He thinks that he has convinced them that that site is clear.
Once he gets onto Banana, the round is theirs to grab. They can double fight CT if they want to. They could stick together, but if he goes to the other side, he has to bet that they're not there.
You said it, Scrawny. You took the words right out of my mouth. I didn't even have to say it this time. That is an incredibly bold call from Cadian to call his own number when the entire bomb site is clear, when he has players in great position to cover his cross with him.
And it's at this point that Vitality are thinking about A just because they don't see a bomb plant on the B site. They're too far away to even go for that retake in a 2v3. That's a gift.
That's deflating.
Yes, sir. That's the kind of round that creaks the door back open. There is no doubt in anybody's mind that the shortcomings of Heroic are not on an individual basis.
But you know what's messed
mental.
up about that is that was a great round for Heroic up until the point that Gabby died. If Cadian didn't have to go back to spawn to pick up the bomb, he wouldn't have made that decision ever.
Fair. Fair point.
So if his mental is right and he keeps his composure, there's no reason why they shouldn't be able to call similar rounds and have similar outcomes. But for some reason, they doubt themselves.
It looks replicable. They want to just go for the same hit again.
This is the most
sense.
vanilla defense, playing retake with one player lingering inside. It's just not how you play these days. And when Vitality played against G2, they weren't doing that. Isn't that what I talked about, Connor?
Yes.
They killed them as they came to car every time. No questions asked.
Vitality looking shyer versus Heroic than they did G2. And so they're going to be playing blind at the 45-second mark. All the way up Banana were Heroic, but now all in on A is the call. And CT's keeping heads tucked, just buying time until it's the chance to pop up, but Dupree doesn't finish his kill. Jabby's going to stay fixated on this. Spinks falls down, and his gun is empty. So they clear them all out step by step, piece by piece. Heroic unravel the whole.
I'm going to put this very frankly. This is how bad the round is for Vitality. They played 2 players on B in passive setups. They would have lost versus a hit to that site. They played 3 players on A, and even with 3, they couldn't hold. But that shows you how much you need to try to cheat that 4th player over. They didn't give themselves odds on either site. It was not a bad idea for Heroic to go back, even though it would have been even easier to hit the B site. You have different minimums.
Yeah, that's just playing not to lose it for Vitality. That's playing not to lose, not trying to give anything up to Heroic for free in the default. But Heroic, they're one of the best and most well-drilled teams in Tier 1.
Yep.
In all of Counter-Strike. They're going to send a crazy exec your way. It's going to have punch.
And now they can quickly forget about that absolute disaster from the last round. Instantly, it's washed away.
Forget about it.
Faith restored. Gabby holding on to Graveyard for this entire time, nailing a shot. Everybody looking in the right direction to cover each other. This is Heroic in a nutshell.
And I mean, Dupree with a golden opportunity when he pops up Graveyard to see 2 players coming up short lined up.
And he eats the flash.
Yep. So the hold is moot. Player in sight also gives us nothing. You know, imagine a world where Spinks doesn't get 2 and fall down. Even if he dies on Balk, that looks so much more convincing. And it was already a steamroll of a push out of Heroic. Maui, I like the way you place it. It's punch. There's punch behind everything. And Vitality are taking a beating upside the head because they're not punching back.
My God, we're talking about Thomases.
Yeah. This is not the buy you want after getting back in your corner. Talking to your trainer and saying, what do we do to fight back in this one?
One kid on Apex.
So little utility on a couple of these guys. Spinks just a single smoke.
But look what we have out of Heroic. 2 MAC-10s and
weird.
an op. This is break into a bomb site and get a post plant. If Cadian ends up at quad with this gun, of course, you can win a 2v3 easily, a 2v4 easily. This is terrifying for Vitality. And in the marketplace of ideas, Heroic are the ones who are profiting at the moment. Vitality coming through with another vanilla setup. And this one's actually a 4A lean, but it's nobody even spotting on Banana. We're falling all the way back at a minute 13. And Zaiwu, is he going to commit into the site with his op as the only person here?
Surely that's the only call.
I think the only call is to save if they even attack the site. If he makes the rotation in, they lose the op. It could be 13 rounds with no money.
If they attack the site.
Oh,
but they don't. Heroic going back, trying to muster up another A play. Last time 3 defenders, not enough. This time 4. It's a wrap around the arch. Dupree drawn into a gunfight that he can't win. But they're still going to try to press out, even with the apartments player there and successful. Apex, he's not sure who to shoot at, but he stops the bomb. Shush comes back with the return. The SMG's still able to thrive. Whoa. Spinks keeps his head down, but that's 2 rifles that have fired off in pit. Jabby comes hunting, dies to Magis. Bomb is still down, and Magis delivers!
Oh my God, they forgot that there was 2 in pit? Or
Shush just froze up there. It's like he didn't even know there was a player in big pit. Cadian didn't seem to know either.
Okay,
he was turned into the site.
Maybe Magis didn't fight that entire time. And they had no idea.
I just don't think they thought they were running into a 4-man stack. They got the 3 kills. They thought, okay, that's it. No, he definitely did. And they just didn't react to it. Wow. I mean, that was just a gamble, though, from Vitality.
Yeah.
If we want to boil it down to anything, they just said, ZywOo, you're going B by yourself. We're going to hold this site. And they did. They held up their end of the bargain on this one.
Hey, and full credit when it came to reads from Apex. He was amazing on Mirage. When it came to T-side attacks and picking the weaker side, he did that consistently. He transfers that energy here into CT side. And it's a gamble because they don't fight for any information on Banana. They don't see anything. They make the call out of spawn to set up the op on this side and hope that they can reinforce A enough. Of course, one op on one side of the map versus a full buy is not enough to stop it. No rotations, very fast, means that they have to give up the site if it gets run over, and they need to keep the op forward. But even with the best teams in the last few years, some of them have made their name gambling on CT side of Inferno. When we talk about Na'Vi at their very best, they were gambling completely blind in CT setups because they know their opponents. And if that's the way that Apex is going to win, well, you know what? He's already proved that he can. But I would never count Cadian out of that fight as well.
Of course not. You'd have to be a fool. But man, did they have a great chance at hitting that B site. Little do they know, Heroic.
Oh, yeah.
It was only ZywOo.
Yeah, but this is a huge round for the game. Money for both teams.
Both teams.
It's terrible.
But for that reason, you could say it's bigger for Vitality. They're not even in double digits right now. This is just to make the game real for them.
This is with, of course, remember, Heroic players coming into the last one with only MAC 10s. They would have so much less if not for that. And will have less without this.
But again, it's so standard from Vitality. We're just getting the 3-2 setup.
Yeah, and as you know,
there's no info at all.
It's 2 times they got him to go A. One of the 2 Heroic were able to win in the last round was too much. They couldn't pull it out. But in all 3 situations, B was easier.
Oh.
It's a fake, though.
Oh, it's a fake. Something to take it to the next level. Now, this is more
layers.
Like Kerrigan. This is more like Glaive. This is building on what you have created in this half to condition.
And still testing this A site in the end. Oh, they line up, but not well enough. Dupree, under pressure, stops the bomb. He's worried about somebody above, but they were all on lane already. 3 members of Heroic alive, and none of them off the top rope. All of them on his level.
There was a time in CS, when we go back to the days of Virtus Pro, where they were some of the best fake and double fake calling team in the tier 1, and lots of teams were using multiple fakes in different rounds. These days, fakes are used so rarely. They're so nuanced. They're almost fakes within fakes, one nade to send you to the wrong site, but never a full commitment or half commitment like that. But as you condition your opponent, that's when it calls for fakes. That's when they're the most vulnerable. And this is finally punishing Vitality for playing blind. This is saying, if you want to play blind this many times, I don't care if you win, you're still insecure.
Which is an excellent call out of Cadian to do exactly that. Seeing so many rounds without pressure, without presence, no informational plays. You just said the words, don't write off Cadian. And so Cadian just sprinkles in that extra layer to get Heroic 13, to keep Vitality outside of double digits.
Instead of gambling versus a team that's gambling, he takes matters into his own hands. They have had less fog of war. They have had more information, and now they use that map control to push the limit.
The way that Vitality have been playing has just been sitting and praying. We've seen one prayer answered so far, but not every time. And not when Cadian is shifting you around like that. That's a bold claim right there on that one. I want to know what Zonic said, though. I've got to see a shift, because playing as reactive as Vitality has not been working in this half.
Maybe they had some magic in their match yesterday. But they can't rely on that now, clearly.
What a back and forth second half, though. Although it does lead Heroic closer to the finish line, closer to the trophy lift, closer to a sigh of relief, but they meet ZywOo. They approach the apartments. Zywoo just posted on his own.
We do have a shift of energy completely. We've got vision inside of halls, bottom B control,
Yes,
into the instant 5v4 at a minute 20.
Feeling as though they've let this game go too long without being active, but it opens up a timing. A flash on Arch. Look at this. 2 CTs trying to get away. They just lost Dupree in the apartments, and with a 4 versus 5, Cadian recovers it.
Whoa. The flash with the op shot being missed into the punish, into pushing you back into your spawn.
And Dupree somehow dying up in the apartments, I think. That second kill that comes out, that's everything the Heroic needed to guarantee an A site, everything they need for their 14th round.
After Jabby dies, no one else does. And 4v5, they win as clean as you could ask. All they did was continue forward with the game plan.
And Dupree was just on an island right there. You see him dead at porch right there. It's just short pop, pulse pop simultaneously.
They had nothing in pit.
He was getting crunched. Yeah, the thing is that Vitality, even after they get that pick, they just assumed. They assumed that Heroic weren't going to keep it up. We saw that wasn't the case. That everybody... This was almost like it could have been a call out of spawn and said, no matter what happens, we're going to commit to this fight. And even if Dupree won that duel against Cadian, he was getting swung on from balcony as well. There was no hope for him there. But I love how vicious Shush was in that duel versus Zywoo as well. He recognized that that best player in the world missed a shot, and he can still bleed.
Cadian's proven something today. They are closer than ever to taking it over the line off the last tack, and this is a final tack for Vitality in this match. Off the last one with Zonic chiming in, they got it together, but Cadian was ready to jump to another level instantly. They got the 5v4, they got the map control, and Cadian came through with a call they weren't ready for, and it took advantage of the fact that Vitality were expecting some kind of shake hand agreement about how to go back for map control standard, and instead he decided to attack faster than you could ever expect, not letting you rearrange yourself or look for something new.
Into a bomb site that has so consistently had the majority of the defense on it. Magisk, oh my. Down turns into the corner. This could be a huge opening kill either way. If Apex gets left alone, he's done. Apex makes a step, Magisk pounces on it, but he's not able to get that second. It's Tess has to quickly respond, even with the damage, and they fall back.
Even with the damage, I'd say this is what Heroic are looking for in this situation. We have an interesting new idea, which is great, but it gets very scary for the CT side. The rotations are already incredibly difficult in a 5v5.
Oh, if it's just Apex on the side.
Yeah, and they've been playing like this.
Okay, Spinks is moving forward. Spinks is taking matter in his own hands. He's actually going to find this out.
Is it fast enough?
We saw
That's the question.
We saw the speed last time in the halls pop. Dupree coming in. He has a flash.
It's got to be quick. No hesitation versus this Heroic. Incendiary down in front. They burn their last smoke. There's a gap to come clearly around it. Flash over. Apex is going to take it onto his own shoulders. Dupree comes through with nothing. Apex falls with nothing. And Heroic so close now to the only thing they wanted this year, that always elusive first place.
It comes down to a flash retake into the B site, and Heroic say, we mess you up every day of the week on a play like that. That's the first thing we were ready for.
Zywoo can't even get in these rounds. He can't find the spot.
He's been nowhere.
Yeah. He's gotten maybe one op kill in the last few rounds.
Just in apps.
That one in apps, yeah. Heroic are doing a great job of staying away from him. They are challenging the Riflers, and the Vitality Riflers are simply not standing up to the task.
They're non-existent, other than Spinks. I mean, the whole story, Vitality's success, the reason they go back-to-back events is because the Danes stepped up. And yes, they did it at what was the most important event of the year, and for Vitality specifically. And the shortcomings we saw in Washington upon their arrival, we chalked it up to a little rust because they took off Dallas. But we've seen the success of Dupree and Magisk since that opening game. We are not getting any of it tonight.
For the new fans that may be watching Heroic's story emerge, they might be thinking, well, why haven't they won? I just started this year.
Unleash
well, now, Heroic,
send him.
They won over the core fans, but now they can win all of them. Heroic looking for a chip. at the final tournament of the season, 5v4 versus the reigning major champs.
To stop the momentum of Vitality as they were collecting all of the scalps of the best teams in the world. Dupree given one more chance, but he only puts up one more kill. And all Heroic need is one more round. But ZywOo is alive, and he is looking for more. Sjuush crosses into the backside. ZywOo probably feeling like he has no support in this moment. If you are the best in this world, if you are the best of this year, then show us. Prove it. Apex, a little bit of damage. They're still worried about some kind of a flank, some kind of a lurk, and who other than Cadian to strike them down? The Jester makes a fool of Vitality! And on the US soil, Heroic have finally got their chip. Second at IEM Katowice, second at IEM Rio.